Great, Sarah. Thanks a million, and good afternoon, everybody. And thank you for your time this afternoon. As Sarah said, this webinar will last about 25 to 30 minutes, and then we'll take questions. And we're very happy to take your questions afterwards. I'm just going to cover over the course of the next little while, just very brief update and reminder about scanning and alerts, talk about managing alerts, and refer briefly to the recent Ozempic example, which I've no doubt you will have seen correspondence from the PSI about in the last couple of weeks. We're about to roll out a new NMVS Alerts user guide, so I'm just going to introduce you to that and just some of the key factors in accessing it, doing your alert investigation and recording your alert investigation. Two current issues that are generating alerts that we feel the alerts can be avoided. So just to flag those to you. And then finally, to provide some update and information on the supports available from IMVO to dispensary teams. So scanning and alerts, and I suppose the first question that is often asked is, when must a pharmacy or hospital decommission a pack? In a community pharmacy, a pack must be decommissioned at time of supplying it to the public. So that's as the script is being prepared, the pack is being decommissioned. In a hospital, it is a little bit different, and hospitals can decommission packs at any time after the pack arrives in the hospital. But the anti-tamper device, which is another key aspect of the Falsified Medicines Directive, that check must be done at time of supply. In case of bulk or split packs, the pack is decommissioned only once when it's opened for the first time. A pack can be decommissioned for destruction as long as it has not expired. Packs that have expired are automatically decommissioned within the Irish Medicines Verification System, so they don't need to be scanned for destruction again. Packs being supplied as sample to competent authority. So a lot of you will see a sample tab in your FMD software. That is only for packs that are being provided as a sample to a competent authority, which in most instances would be the PSI or the HPRA. Packs supplied to GPs, nursing homes, or schools. There is an Article 23 in the Delegated Regulation on Falsified Medicines Directive, allows for the decommissioning of packs that are going to certain users, and examples of that are GPs, nursing homes, and schools. And then finally, authorized medicine being supplied for use in a clinical trial. So those packs obviously must be decommissioned as well. So when you're decommissioning a pack, we know that sometimes an alert will be generated. And essentially what's happening there is when you scan a pack to decommission it, there's two main checks that are being carried out. The first is, does the data scanned from the barcode, does it match the data in the IMVS? So if you look at the 2D barcode that you scan, and beside that on the pack, most often, there are 4 lines of what we call human readable text, and they'll be the product code, the batch ID, the serial number for the pack, and the expiry date for the pack. And it's those 4 pieces of information that are actually encoded into the 2D barcode that gets scanned. And the very first part of verification and decommissioning is those 4 pieces of data are pushed from your FMD software up to the IMVS. And the first thing the IMVS does is to check, are these 4 lines of data actually the same as the 4 pieces of data that were uploaded by the manufacturer when this pack was created and manufactured and uploaded into the IMVS. So that's the first thing, is the data right? And if it's not right, that will generate an alert. The second thing that's checked, so if the data is all okay, is that what is the status of the pack? Is it active or decommissioned? Our expectation is when you are decommissioning a pack as you are supplying it to a patient, is that pack will be in an active state, and the first and only time it's being decommissioned is it is going to the patient and being decommissioned in a community pharmacy or in a hospital when it is delivered into the hospital. The system and the IMVS obviously knows the status of the pack, and what it's doing is checking, is this pack active or decommissioned, and does that match what the IMVS expects to see? If you're verifying, and it will check the status of the pack and whether it's in an active or decommissioned state. Because it's just doing a verification scan, it will just feed back to you that, yes, this pack is in an active state or it has been decommissioned before. If you're trying to decommission the pack, for example, decommission it for supply, as you're supplying a pack to the patient, and it has already been decommissioned, that's when you'll get an alert generated, because clearly we understand that a pack should not be in a decommissioned state already when you're supplying it to a patient. What happens next? And without getting into huge detail, we know that the end user and the MAH, which is the market authorization holder or the manufacturer, they do their initial investigation to look for the root cause and to see is the root cause on their side. So is the problem that has caused the alert at the end user side? Is it a procedural error or something like that in a dispensary? Or the MAH, the manufacturer, is looking, well, was this actually a data issue, and have we done something wrong with the data, or have we not uploaded the data in time? If there's no obvious root cause for alert, the pack is deemed to be a suspected falsification and is assessed further by the MAH. So essentially, if we can't establish that the alert was caused as a result of an error at the end user stage, or the MAH is looking at it and they say, well, we can't figure out that the alert wasn't caused as a result of something we've done wrong, then there is no obvious root cause. So the MAH will look for more information, do a more detailed investigation. Sometimes they may look for photographs of the pack, photographs of the barcode from the end user. And that's why it's very important, if you do have an alert and you can't establish the root cause, that that pack is quarantined until such time as the root cause can be identified. If the pack is confirmed to be falsified, then the HPRA is informed and their investigative and falsification management process is applied. At the moment in Ireland, about 0.05% of scans generate alerts, so that's about 1 in every 2,000 alerts or scans is actually generating an alert. When you look at how many alerts are caused in pharmacies, last month, during the month of October, so 60% of pharmacies in Ireland last month in October got no alerts at all. 70% had about 1, the next percentile, the 80th percentile, had about 2 or 1 once a fortnight, and the 90th percentile had 3 in the space of the month. So what that means is that up to 90% of pharmacies had no more than 1 alert, less than 1 alert a week over the course of the month of October, which is really good and has improved really significantly since we exited Use and Learn at the end of May last year. And that's as a result of huge work and learnings across all users of the IMVS, but especially with our end users, with our community pharmacies, hospital pharmacies and wholesalers, getting far more used to FMD and a much greater degree of fluency in FMD. So turning to alert management, how do you know if there's an alert and what do you do? So basically your FMD software, if you scan a pack and you get an amber or red response on your FMD software in your dispensary, what that's saying is there's an alert or exception that needs to be followed up. And that's the most important message, is if you do get amber or red response on your FMD software, there is a need to just stop for a moment and try and understand exactly what the screen is telling you. And before you move on and any further in the dispensing stage of that pack that you're dealing with, is actually try and just resolve it. So the response includes a high-level description of what has happened. For example, the batch ID, a batch ID mismatch, that'll be something that is regularly associated. For example, if you've manually entered the 4 lines of human readable text to try and manually decommission, or a pack already decommissioned, and you'll hear me talk quite a bit about pack already decommissioned in a little while. That can be pack already decommissioned where you've just double scanned it in your own dispensary, or the pack has actually been decommissioned somewhere else already. Also, what it does is it includes a link to our alert help pages on the IMVO website, and they assist in identifying a root cause for the alert and providing guidance on how to fix it. For example, if it was a scanner issue or a software issue, and that guidance is based on our alert management guidance. Additionally, we monitor the IMVS for large numbers of alerts or unusual patterns of alerts by product, by batch, or by end user location. And we contact the end user or MAH or FMD software provider, whoever needs to be contacted, to take action to prevent further alerts. So if there was something, a big spike in alerts in a dispensary, we'd see it. We have IT systems that actually monitor those type of spikes and alerts. And as soon as we see them, what we'll try and do is contact the wholesaler, the hospital, or the community pharmacy to go, there's something going wrong, and we need to step in to try and assist to resolve it. Just turning then to the recent Ozempic example and, you know, alerts and the potential for alerts around falsified medicines. So I've two pieces of text on the screen, both with links. The one on the left is from the European Medicines Agency, and it's information that they published last month. And essentially what they were saying was that falsified packs of Ozempic have been identified at wholesalers in the European Union and in the UK. In the EU, each medicine pack had a unique 2D barcode and serial number so that it can be scanned and tracked. So that's what that's saying is the EMA are saying there is a system so that every packet of medication can be scanned. When the packs of the falsified Ozempic are scanned, the serial numbers were shown to be inactive, thereby alerting operators to a potential falsification. And essentially what had happened is there was a pack of Ozempic that had been decommissioned in a pharmacy as it was being supplied to the patient in March of last year, or sorry, March of this year, only in the last few months. And what has happened is packaging has been copied. So the block of falsified packs of Ozempic actually all had the same 2D barcode with the same pieces of human readable text printed on them and encoded into the barcode, which means if a pack of this falsified Ozempic was scanned by a wholesaler, or if it had moved any further in the supply chain to a pharmacy setting, if that had been scanned, it would feed back that this pack has been decommissioned already. And that's what I'm talking about, where when you see that amber or red notification on your screen, it does require a pause in your procedure and in your dispensing process to just look, read, and understand exactly what's going on, and do you need to do something about it. Further information that came out from the German National Competent Authority, which would be the equivalent of the HPRA, was that the initial investigations showed that there was no semaglutide in the counterfeit drug Ozempic, and when it was tested in the German official testing labs, those pens actually contained insulin. And there is information that we've seen, which is in Austria, some of those packs actually did make it through to patient level. We understand not as a result of being passed through or coming through a pharmacy system, but there is information to suggest that indeed those packs of falsified Ozempic did get to patients, and some patients were hospitalized as a result of taking too much insulin and the knock-on effects that can result from that. So what would happen if a pack of falsified Ozempic, or indeed a pack of falsified medication, in this type of scenario where the pack had already been decommissioned, the packaging has been copied, it looks well, as in it looks like it was a good copy, for want of a better word. When you scan that pack to decommission it, to supply it, or to verify it, as was the case in the wholesalers, the response will come back to say that that pack has already been decommissioned, supplied, or dispensed at another location. When you look at the information that is coming back from your FMD software, if it has been decommissioned in a different location, the reality is that you in a dispensary will not have sufficient information to be able to draw any conclusions about the authenticity of the pack, because you won't be able to tell where that pack has already been decommissioned, particularly if you're unsure, or you know, if you got it from a wholesaler. I'll talk later on in this webinar about borrowings and the management of borrowings, but the most important thing is if you get feedback from the system to say it's been decommissioned somewhere else, and you've no reason to understand why it would have been decommissioned somewhere else, you need to contact IMVO, because we can look into the IMVS and establish where, be it in Ireland or be it in another country, through our liaison network with other NMVOs, that we can establish exactly where this pack has been decommissioned, and we can assist you in ensuring that that pack is properly managed and the alert is properly managed. Packs that generate these responses, they must be quarantined until a genuine reason for the prior decommissioning has been established and falsification has been ruled out. And that is the bottom line, which is if a pack is, if you get an alert on a pack to say it has been decommissioned at another location, unless you're in a position to satisfy the question, where has this been decommissioned already and why, that pack must be quarantined until a genuine reason for its prior decommissioning has been established. And contacting IMVO using NMVS Alerts ideally, or using our telephone or email to contacts to get to us to try and answer that question. But what is very important is if and when ourselves or the MAH, or for example, if it went down the falsification route, and it was the HPRA or the PSI stepping in any aspect of dealing with the falsification, that until the root cause has been established, that pack has been maintained in quarantine. So talking about NMVS alerts and how you would record or communicate with us about any aspect of your of an alert, I'll just talk briefly then about a new guide, a user guide on NMVS Alerts, which we will publish and send in a mail to you, and it'll be on our website over the course of the coming weeks. And it's going to talk just about how you access NMVS Alerts, how you investigate, what information is available to you to assist in your investigation, and how you might record the findings of your investigation or establish who else is involved in this investigation and have they recorded any aspects of their work across the the management of the particular alert. So to access it, a couple of minutes after an alert is generated, a one-time link will be emailed from alert.support@imvo.ie to the registered email address in the pharmacy or hospital or wholesaler where the alert has been generated. This link is valid for 7 days or until such time as the alert has been updated. The alert link will only work from the email account it was sent to. So for example, if it was sent to genericpharmacy@gmail.com, it will only work on that account. If you forward it to somebody else, so if it was forwarded to colin.mcnamee123@yahoo.ie, then I wouldn't be able to click on the link. So it'll only work in the email address that it's sent to. And clicking click here, which is here on the screen, the green click here text, that would bring you directly into the alert detail page. Alternatively, you might have an NMVS Alerts account. They're free, they're very easy to set up. And what they do is they give you visibility on all alerts generated by your location. And if you were a very busy pharmacy or hospital and you were experiencing a lot of alerts, it's always very useful to be able to have that account so you can go back in and revisit or review any aspect of your alerts. It will also allow you to go back and access all aspects of how you've recorded the management of your alert, just in case there was queries after the effect. So if you have an account set up, the email address you provided is your user ID. If you can't remember your password, if you did have an account set up, there's a reset password link. And if you don't have an account or you need help to get access to your account, just drop a mail to alert.support@imvo.ie and that will get you in, or we'll work to get you sorted and get you set up, no problem at all. So investigate then. This is when you click into the alert, you'll see two main windows. You'll see on the top left screen, you'll see the alert ID, and that corresponds to the alert ID that was generated in your FMD software. You'll then see in the alert details window a lot of information just around the type of error. The pack has already been decommissioned, the date and time the alert was generated. Two things just to bring to your attention, and it does assist a lot, and it will be in much more detail in the actual user guide, is here you will see the location ID, and that's just an alphanumeric string of characters, which is represents your location. So that's where the alert has actually been generated. That's useful because if you look at PLU location ID, so that's where the pack was last updated. So that's where the pack was decommissioned before. So if those two strings of alphanumeric text, location ID and PLU location ID, are the same, that means there's been a procedural error in likely your pharmacy, in your dispensary, because the alert has been generated because the pack has been decommissioned twice, but that has happened in the same location. If that was different, so that's the type of scenario where we could be talking about a falsified pack, such as the Ozempic case, or a borrowing where the pack has come to you in a decommissioned state. If they're different, that's an instant trigger that you're actually probably going to have to contact IMVO to assist in the management of this alert. Over on the investigation field, there's just a couple of pieces of information where different checkboxes, and I'm going to go through each of them over the course of the next few slides. On this page, though, also very important is the manufacturer and IMVO alert investigation status. And you can see here, they're down the bottom of the screen. And if you click on these, you can actually expand to see have we entered text or has the MAH entered text. There are 4 different alert statuses from the manufacturer or IMVO. Open, which you see there on the screen, indicates the alert is open, hasn't been investigated by IMVO or the MAH. It's under investigation, which means the alert is being investigated by IMVO and or MAH. And if you expand into that, you'll probably see in the text box where we've actually done something or said something just to keep everybody associated with the alert updated and closed. This shows that the alert has been closed by IMVO or MAH. And very often when you click in there, what that will do is establish the root cause has actually been identified and the pack can probably be supplied. So it's always worth, if you see that it's closed, that you go in and check that. A new feature in NMVS Alerts is MAH Investigator, which is a blue M. And what that means is the MAH, they've actually looked into it and they've finished out their side of the investigation, but have established the root cause is not on their side. So what that means is probably we need to go back and look at something that has gone on between end users or within an end user. Just then, if there's to go back to the investigate and how you'd record. So those 4 checkboxes you saw on the screen, is there a technical error? Is there a hardware, software, scanner issue? Is there a procedural error? Is it a human error? So we just scanned it twice by accident. The pack is returned. So has the pack actually, were you asked by the wholesaler or manufacturer to send it back, or other? So it should only be used to describe exceptional circumstances such as test training and scenarios that we haven't automatically described. Or is there, and then down to investigation status. And what that allows you as the end user say is, I'm still looking into it, investigation pending. I can select root cause on my side because actually we've established what's gone wrong or what has caused the alert. And yeah, it was down to an issue at our end, or we can't, and the root cause is not on our side. You can then change the status from open to investigated. You can put in some text here in the comments box just to see, to explain what has actually happened if the root cause has been identified yourself. Check the inform NMVO box and then click the save button. And that is it in terms of you've accessed it, you've investigated, and now you've recorded. And that is your aspect of the alert management recorded in terms of ensuring that all those involved in the alert, the end user, the NMVO and the MAH have an awareness of anything that you wanted to provide in terms of feedback. Current issues, very briefly, we're aware, obviously, there's a lot going on with COVID vaccines at the moment. We do see a lot of double decommission alerts, so packs that have been decommissioned at 2 locations because they've been the Comirnaty vaccines that are coming to you directly from the National Cold Chain Service. They have been decommissioned for FMD by NCCS prior to delivery. What we would ask you to do is, before you scan to decommission those packs, check is this sticker that you see on the right hand side of the screen, check is that sticker, has that been placed on it by the NCCS, and if it has, that pack doesn't need to be decommissioned any further. And then the last one in terms of current issues is borrowings. we do see a lot of alerts, packs decommission in different locations. So, for example, if you're borrowing a pack of L-Troxin from another pharmacy, and we know there is a requirement for borrowings as a result of a lot of shortages that are going on, if you're getting it from another pharmacy, it should be coming to you in an active state. We sent out these alert management guidance cards to your locations during the summer. But what we'd say is, if you don't know why it's come to what state it's come to you, you can do a verification scan, or if you do scan it to decommission it and it has been decommissioned already and you get an alert, contact the pharmacy that you borrowed the pack from and go, would you have decommissioned this by mistake before you sent it to us? If not, obviously you're back into that space where you need to contact us for assistance. But we do see it when packs that are being lent can be lent by a pharmacy in a decommissioned state, which means they will generate an alert when they get to yourselves when you come to decommission it to supply it to the patient. Very finally, just support. We're available. We've a service desk now, so 8 to 8 Monday to Friday, 9 to 6 on Saturdays, and 11 to 6 on Sundays. There'll always be somebody at the end of the phone or our email. If you want to talk to us about an alert, use the specific alert.support@imvo.ie email address. What else can we do? There's loads of information on our website. We've very detailed FAQs. We've guidance videos on YouTube. The live IMVS status is available at this link here, and obviously these slides will be sent to you with live links. And the other thing is, if you have any questions, or if you feel it would be of any benefit to anyone in your pharmacy team to get additional assistance or guidance from any members of our IMVO team, please don't hesitate to ask. We can do it by phone or by Zoom or on Teams, and we know it works, and it does very much assist dispensary teams in the management of their FMD at community pharmacy or hospital pharmacy level. For more info, we are on LinkedIn and Twitter. Obviously, the PSI and the HPRA have their own websites, email addresses if you needed any information from them. And there's also a European Commission Q&A on safety features, which is available on the IMVO website. So that's it in terms of the information I wanted to provide you. Sarah's going to stop the recording now, and if anybody has any questions, we're very, very happy to take them. If you don't ask us a question in this forum, please don't hesitate. Just drop us a mail to alert.support@imvo.ie, and we're happy to respond directly to you if you have a question either. Thank you very much for your time today.